at President Kennedy's motorcade in downtown Dallas, the first reports say that President Kennedy has been seriously wounded by this shooting. More details just arrived. These details about the same as previously. President Kennedy shot today just as his motorcade left downtown Dallas. Mrs. Kennedy jumped up and grabbed Mr. Kennedy. She called, "Oh no," the motorcade sped on. United Press says that the wounds for President Kennedy perhaps could be fatal. Repeating, a bulletin from CBS News, President Kennedy has been shot by a would-be assassin in Dallas, Texas. Stay tuned to CBS News for further details.
Oh my gosh.
It takes more than an instant to make a real cup of coffee. That's why Nescafe has come up with a new kind of coffee. It's more than...
Honey, come in here.
New minute brew Nescafe. Anybody can make a coffee more instant.
Listen to this. They say Kennedy's been shot.
A new kind of coffee. Minute brew. Minute brew Nescafe is a new discovery. A new way to hold in extra rich flavors. So please help us. Let it brew in the cup a few seconds longer for all that extra flavor to come out. In other words, with minute brew Nescafe, it takes a little longer, but you get a lot more coffee. If you agree it takes more than an instant to make a real cup of coffee, try this completely new kind of coffee today. New minute brew Nescafe. It's more than an instant. It costs no more. New minute brew Nescafe. The first portion of this program has been brought to you by New Soft Fabric Softener. New Soft renews the softness detergents wash away, another famous product of Best Food. You can use it as the world turns following station identification. Follow Todd and link to a mountain adventure with a pretty girl on Route 66 tonight on the CBS television network.
They're not saying anything else. Just keep watching. They'll update us. Here's something else.
Further details on an assassination attempt against President Kennedy in Dallas, Texas. President Kennedy was shot as he drove from Dallas Airport to downtown Dallas. Governor Connolly of Texas in the car with him was also shot. It is reported that 3 bullets rang out. A Secret Service man was heard to shout from the car, "He's dead." Whether he referred to President Kennedy or not is not yet known. The president, cradled in the arms of his wife, Mrs. Kennedy, was carried to an ambulance and the car rushed to Parkland Hospital outside Dallas. The president was taken to an emergency room in the hospital. Other White House officials were in doubt in the corridors of the hospital as to the condition of President Kennedy. Repeating this bulletin, President Kennedy was shot while driving in an open car from the airport in Dallas, Texas to downtown Dallas. Recounting again the details of this incident, 3 shots were heard to ring out as Kennedy and Governor Connolly and Mrs. Kennedy rode in the back seat of the open car. Immediately, a Secret Service man said he saw
Turn the light off, it's too bright.
the president's head. He fell into the laps of Mrs. Kennedy, and Mrs. Kennedy shouted, "Oh no." Governor Connolly was seen to crumple also. The car sped on, the motorcade speeded up, rushed to Parkland Hospital in Dallas, where the president and Governor Connolly were rushed to the emergency room. A Secret Service man was heard to say he's dead as the president was lifted from the rear of the White House touring car, the famous bubble top from Washington, and taken into the hospital. Reporters about 5 car lengths behind the chief executive heard what sounded like that 3 bursts of gunfire. We will keep you advised as more details come in. The incident has taken place only in the last few minutes in Dallas. CBS News for further details.
Can't believe it.
Well, that hurts. I don't know if I should say anything about it, because I may not be right, but I have an idea that your sister's been pushing a few seconds around.
Let's change channels and see if NBC has it. No, leave it here.
You saying you think that she has something to do with it? How could she have anything to do with it? Well, Bob, what you don't know is that Penny has talked to me several times about trying to interest me into going back with the message. I didn't know that. Well, I'm saying it. Well, I told Penny that Neil goes back, go back to the medicine. Have to do it on his own. Not in a push or pull from me and the other doctor. Not from her.
At least reception's good today.
Good. Talk to him. She does feel differently about news than I do. Why? I don't know. Do you think that Penny asked you? In my heart, yes. Surprised. Diane, I'm not. Must we get a menu? Later? I can order, I'm kind of hungry. Yeah, go on.
Great, of all times.
We'll return to As the World Turns in just a moment. I see you have a new family. Youngsters have such a big responsibility. I'm sure you'll be glad to hear about new Friskies puppy food, designed to meet the needs of growing puppies. Friskies is
Come on, who cares about dog food? We want to find out about Kennedy.
all the protein puppies need to build strong bodies, sturdy bones, and sound teeth. And it has Friskies special beef flavoring. Go ahead, Mother. Help yourself. It's great for you, too. New Friskies puppy food in 2 sizes. Made by Carnation. They love dogs, too. Searching for a
Another dog commercial.
food? Discover new Friskies Magic Soft Cubes. Here's a bulletin from CBS News. President Kennedy has been the victim of an assassin's bullet in Dallas, Texas. It is not known as yet whether the president survived the attack against him. The incident was this. The president, Mrs. Kennedy, and Governor Connolly of Texas driving in the president's famed bubble-top car from Dallas Airport to downtown Dallas, where the president was scheduled to make a speech. 3 bullet shots were heard to ring out. The president slumped into the lap of Mrs. Kennedy. Witnesses said they saw blood streaming from his head. Governor Connolly slumped into the bottom of the car. Bullet wounds were seen to be in his chest. The car itself rushed on as Mrs. Kennedy was heard to say, "Oh no."
goes.
the rear seat of the car, her head toward the president, apparently leaning over and trying to converse with him. AP reporter who was with the group said that this man and woman we
You're saying
reported
he's dead.
earlier were on a hilltop.
We don't know that.
Were seen scrambling to the upper level of a walkway overlooking an underpass with which the car was approaching. Lawrence O'Brien, the presidential aide, says he has no information on whether the president is still alive. Mrs. Kennedy was weeping, trying to hold up her husband's head when the reporters reached the car as it dashed toward the hospital. Vice President Lyndon Johnson was in the car behind the president. There was no immediate sign that he was hurt. Repeating that, no indication Vice President Johnson was hurt. In fact, there was no evidence at all of what might have happened to Johnson, since only the president's car and the Secret Service follow-up car went on to the hospital. Let us recount this incident again. There has been an assassination attempt against the life of President John F. Kennedy in Dallas, Texas. The President, Mrs. Kennedy, and Governor Connolly of Texas, en route from the Dallas airport to a speech the President was scheduled to make at noon in Dallas, were in the President's famed bubble-top car, driving through cheering crowds in the streets of Dallas when 3 shots rang out. The President slumped into the lap of Mrs. Kennedy, apparently a bullet wound in his head. Governor Connolly slumped to the floor of the car. Bullet wounds were seen in his chest. Mrs. Kennedy screamed out, "Oh no!" The car stopped momentarily. Secret Service men unloaded their rifles and started into the crowd. 2 persons, a man and a woman, were seen crouched with a crowd around them on a hilltop overlooking the road. Whether they were concerned in the shooting or not, we do not know yet. Secret Service men rushed to that scene and were waiting a report on that. Vice President Johnson was in the car immediately following President Kennedy and Governor Connolly. He was not hurt as far as we are able to determine. The President and Governor Connolly were rushed to a nearby hospital, Parkland Hospital, where they were taken into the emergency room, and we have no information yet as to how serious the injuries were. However, aides very close to President Kennedy had no comment when they were asked by reporters the seriousness of the president's injuries. Late information just in, Acting White House Secretary Malcolm Kilgruff was asked whether the president was dead, and he said, "I have no word now." The president had landed just a short time before, as we said, at Dallas Love Field. He was driving to the trademark of Dallas to deliver the Clinton speech, which was to be sponsored by 3 Dallas organizations.
They're going to keep this whole thing hush-hush, honey. We're never going to find out.
Kennedy, he was being greeted lavishly by the crowd in a very warm Texas welcome when the bullet fired out of the crowd. Stay tuned. We'll bring you the details just as quickly as they come in. It might be recalled that Dallas has been a hotbed of criticism of President Kennedy and his administration by outspoken rightist groups. Only 2 weeks ago, Ambassador Adlai Stevenson of the United Nations was in an incident in Dallas when he was besieged by pickets, or right-wing pickets, outside of a he made there, and he was struck in the head by a picket sign by an outraged conservative who felt we should not be in the United Nations. Even today, through Dallas, there were cars touring the streets with signs, U.S. or UN. A little late information. Rear Admiral George Berkeley, United States Navy, the White House physician, rushed into that Parkland Hospital in Dallas. He headed for the emergency room where the President and Governor Connolly were taken. Still awaiting word as to the condition of the President from that emergency. Governor Connolly of Texas is the young governor who managed the campaigns of Lyndon Johnson over the last several senatorial and vice presidential campaigns of Johnson. He is a leader of what is considered the more conservative wing of the